I want you all to know that I tried. I tried to give Titans Season 3 a chance. I tried to go along with it. I tried to watch it and think, well, maybe it will get better. Maybe it will start to make more sense. Maybe it won't suck. And unfortunately, it didn't get better. It did suck. Where shall we begin? Let's start with the very beginning, where Jason Todd gets killed by the Joker. This is like the very first episode, very early on, one of the first scenes, and I get it. We already knew that Jason Todd was going to become Red Hood from the trailers and from everything that was supposed to happen in this season, so that wasn't the big surprise. I was more upset that we didn't see the Joker who killed him. I know we know who the Joker is, right? In general, we know the Joker. We have an idea of the Joker, even if they don't show us his face. And they showed us his silhouette. We saw him beat Jason over and over again with the crowbar, just like he does in the comic books. I get that they probably feel like that's enough for comic book fans and for fans who know how Jason is supposed to die by the Joker. But I feel like we could have carried this out a little better. I feel like we could have had this whole episode, the whole first episode, could have just been about Jason tracking down the Joker as much as he wanted to. Bruce Wayne is always busy, apparently, during his time on Titans. He was overseas, and so Jason just goes off. I like that, but if we had an actual actor playing the Joker, if we had somebody who actually had dialogue as the Joker, actually did stuff as the Joker, it would make a lot of this mean more if we had built this up a little bit more, so that maybe people who don't know the comic book history, maybe people who don't know that the Joker traditionally kills Jason Todd, maybe it would be a shock to everyone if the ending of the first episode was a cliffhanger of Joker killing Jason Todd, and then boom, credits going into episode 2. So in the aftermath of Jason Todd's death, Dick Grayson comes back to Gotham, and he has a scene with Bruce Wayne. I know a lot of fans don't care for Ian Glenn, who plays Bruce Wayne, and I guess I understand it because he is a much older Bruce Wayne, and to be honest, we never ever see him in the Batman costume doing anything Batman-like. And I'm not saying that he has to prove himself physically that he could be Batman, but it would be nice if once in a blue moon, if we had one badass action scene, even if it's a stunt guy in the Batman costume, and it's this Bruce Wayne kicking ass and going like, okay, at least we see that this Bruce Wayne still has it. But I do like this actor. I do think that he does what he needs to do, what they write for him to do in the Bruce Wayne scenes. I just feel like they don't write Bruce Wayne good. I feel like they write Bruce Wayne terrible. They make Bruce Wayne look like the most irresponsible, worst Batman ever. And that's not Ian Glenn's fault. That's not the actor's fault. That's the writer's fault. We need to blame the writers, not the actor. We have a scene where Bruce Wayne is kind of coming off pathetic because he asked Dick Grayson, hey, do you want to be Robin again? And Dick looks at him like, what the fuck? No, I don't want to be Robin again. Fuck off. And Bruce Wayne says, and he admits, and who knows, maybe Dick Grayson is the only person that Bruce Wayne would ever be this vulnerable and honest with. But he says to Dick, hey, I can't do this alone, you know? And if he's saying that because he's older, or if he's just saying that because maybe this Batman isn't as confident to be by himself, I don't know. Either way, Dick Grayson says to him, well, then you shouldn't be doing this anymore, Bruce. And I just thought, fuck, so you guys are presenting Bruce Wayne in this pathetic light. Like, he can't be Batman unless he has someone, anyone, be Robin next to him. All of a sudden, randomly out of nowhere, Bruce Wayne, Batman, sneaks out into the middle of the night, goes to Arkham Asylum, and kills the Joker. Now, we don't even see this happen. Again, a lot of this is annoying to me. A lot of this angers me because it's a lot of tell and not show. They don't show us hardly anything. All of these big, impactful moments would hit a lot harder, would mean a lot more if we saw it. I don't really want to see Batman be driven or go angry enough to kill the Joker. I don't ever really want to see that. But if you're going to make that choice, if you're going to have Batman make such a big, huge, ginormous decision in his career like this, because I know that there's plenty of fans who do think that Batman should kill the Joker, or do say, why doesn't he just kill this one guy? If you're going to do it, then fucking show us. Show us him kill the Joker. And again, because they don't have an actor actually playing the Joker, who knows? Maybe Warner Brothers or whoever told the show that you can't show a Joker, which is stupid, and by therefore you probably shouldn't have even done any of this in the first place if they had a rule that they couldn't show the Joker. But if you're going to have Batman kill the Joker, we need to see it. We need to have that be a moment. Imagine if episodes 2, if that cliffhanger of the second episode was Batman choking the life out of Joker in his cell, and then boom, right? Credits. Holy crap. And so now, because I guess he broke his one rule, Bruce Wayne just takes off. He leaves Gotham. He leaves Wayne Manor. He leaves Dick a note saying, hey, be a better Batman. Be better than me. Protect the city. Goodbye. God damn it. What the fuck? This is an example of any show, any movie that you could think of, that if the main character is Dick Grayson, or if the main character is Batgirl or Batwoman, Batman always just up and leaves. It's just, I hate it. I hate it. It doesn't feel like something Bruce would ever do. But okay, fine. So we later see, like much episodes later, attempts suicide. Fuck. What are you doing to Bruce Wayne, people? He attempts to kill himself. He lights a fire, gasses up, and tries to blow himself up. Fucking hell. And he just so happens to be saved by Donna Troy. Yes, Donna Troy, the same Donna Troy who was killed last season. We will get to her in a minute. But before we get there, let's jump into a new character that was introduced, Tim Drake. Tim Drake is introduced as a kid who is down and out. His parents are sort of struggling, and he's out there. And what do you know? He's figured out that Nightwing is Dick Grayson. He's figured out that Bruce Wayne is Batman. They have this whole scene where he goes to Dick and he explains to him how, hey, I went to one of your circus shows when you were the Flying Graysons. I saw the type of moves that only you were able to do. And now I saw that Robin and Nightwing could do those same moves. So you have to be the same guy. And if that's the case, then Bruce Wayne must be Batman. And you just put your hand to your head and go, fuck. I know they're trying to reenact or recapture that scene in Dark Knight Rises when Joseph Gordon-Levitt says to Bruce Wayne, hey, I see the way that you were acting and I do the same thing, so you must be Batman. And it was kind of weird then, and it's even more weird now that he just so happened to figure out the biggest kept secret in Gotham. This is the only person, this kid, was able to figure out who Nightwing and Batman is just based off of instinct or just based off of one move. All right, fine. You want to establish Tim Drake is smart or he's different. And so what do? You have him almost die before he even becomes Robin, which of course his whole mission, his whole agenda, his whole goal in life is to be the next Robin. And he ends up almost getting himself killed. He's in kind of a coma or some said shit state. And in this state, he kind of is in the afterlife. He's on this train, and that's where he meets Donna Troy. Donna Troy, who has already been dead for like God knows how long, at least in their world, a good while, right? Maybe a year or so. And she's just on this train. She meets Tim Drake, and they're talking about how, oh, yeah, you might have unfinished business, blah, blah, blah. And then he wakes up from his coma, and yet somehow she comes out of the afterlife. And I'm like, wait, what? Do they actually explain how Donna Troy comes back from the dead? No, they don't. Is it just because she's an Amazon? Is it just because she's from Themyscira? You had a scene earlier when the characters are talking about the Lazarus Pit and how that could possibly bring back characters from the dead. That's how I thought they would probably do it. I thought, oh, they'll probably get Donna Troy's body, put her in the pit, and bring her back. But they don't even do that. No, she comes back on her own. And I don't even think she knows how she came back. So, all right, I guess the show realized how much of a huge fuck up and a huge mistake it was to kill her last season. But if you're going to bring her back, at least have it make sense, please. Hawk and Dove are broken up. Now, I don't really remember what happened with them in season 2, like if they broke up, if we saw that. Maybe we did. Maybe that's my fault. But you see that like Hank is a cop and Dove is still out there fighting crime. So they have a weird, strained relationship. But before I get to what happens, let's talk about Jason Todd. Jason Todd is resurrected after, obviously, his death. He's resurrected by the Scarecrow. So the Scarecrow in Arkham is able to get access to the basement, and in the basement, somehow, there's a secret Lazarus Pit. Fuck. How did he get this? How does anyone not know about it? Or how do these guards let him do this? Who gives a shit? Who gives a fuck, right? Why did he do this? Well, we get a flashback of before Jason died, he was afraid. He was afraid of being Robin, or at least living up to being Robin. He was afraid of letting Bruce Wayne, Batman, down, which I kind of like the idea of that. That is actually an idea that is interesting. Jason Todd being afraid, and he wants to conquer his fear so hard, he becomes obsessed about this, that he goes to work with a devil, right? He goes to Jonathan Crane, and he wants to create a formula for an anti-fear gas or toxin so that he can conquer the fear, not be afraid of anything. I don't know if I buy that Jason Todd in his normal state would work with Crane, but okay, fine. Maybe he just wants to use Crane, and then we'll go from there. You would figure that, well, maybe because of the Lazarus Pit, maybe that's why Jason Todd isn't really making sense, why he's making dumb decisions now, right? Why he's working with Jonathan Crane so willingly now. Or I guess it's just because he's addicted to this non-fear gas or this non-fear toxin. Maybe he's just such a druggie now that he'll do anything that Jonathan Crane tells him to do. I don't know. This isn't how I pictured Red Hood being introduced in live action for the first time, being Scarecrow's bitch. Again, I liked the initial idea of him working with Crane because he's afraid and he wanted to get rid of that. But once he dies and becomes Red Hood, he should be on his own. He should be his own character, his own anti-hero, or even a full-blown villain if you want to go there. And he should have a vendetta against Batman. The fact that Batman has already killed Joker sort of defeats the purpose of why Jason becomes Red Hood in the first place. In the comics, Jason becomes Red Hood because he wants to do what Batman won't do. He wants to kill the Joker. He wants to get rid of the Joker. He wants to stop Joker from doing what he did to him. And he wants to get into Batman's head and find out why Batman's never killed this guy. But now, in this story, Batman's already killed him. So really, Red Hood has no purpose at all in the story. So that's why he ends up being Scarecrow's lapdog, why he ends up being his bitch. And that just is the lamest, laziest version of the Red Hood character that I could ever see. Wow, 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 wow. We're already off to a shitty start with the main plot. But let's not stop there. Because the actor that plays Jonathan Crane, the Scarecrow, look, I looked this guy up. Apparently, he's been acting for a while. He's been in shows like Angel and Mad Men. So I'm not going to say that this guy can't act or that he's a shitty actor, because I guess he's been on a few stuff. So, okay, fine. And maybe people who have seen him in other stuff will say, no, he's quite good in those other things. But he sucks as Jonathan Crane and Scarecrow. I did not buy him as Scarecrow. I did not buy him as Jonathan Crane. You get into finding out that he apparently has mommy issues. Oh, great. Jonathan Crane has mommy issues. And he starts to cut up and mutilate his face. That was kind of weird. But besides that, he just seemed, his delivery, I wanted more. I expected more. I expected better. I just did not buy this guy, especially if you're portraying him as the main threat, the real villain, the brains behind the operation, the one that's making Red Hood go around and do stuff. This version of Jonathan Crane is not more interesting than the idea of Red Hood. But Jason Todd, one of the Titans' own, going against them is far more interesting than finding out that, oh, Jonathan Crane's behind it all. Oh, and by the way, it's a lame acting version of Jonathan Crane too, so you're not even getting a great performance out of that. There's a scene where Crane is dancing to TLC, Chasing Waterfalls in Wayne Manor. That's the type of bullshit that we're stuck watching this entire goddamn season. So back to Hank. Hank, he has this conversation with the group where he explicitly says, that's not Jason anymore, or he's not one of us anymore. We should kill him. We should go after him, and we should take him out and end this. And everybody else doesn't really seem to be on board with it. It seems like Hank is the only one that's willing to treat him like a full-blown villain. And to tell you the truth, I'm kind of on Hank's side. But then, literally the next scene after that conversation, Hank gets a phone call from Jason where Jason is saying that, oh, he's not his true self. He can't control himself. He doesn't know what to do. He's scared. Please come and see me, but don't tell anyone. Don't tell Dick Grayson. And what does Hank do? Hank not only follows along with all of this, he sneaks out and goes to meet him. But not just that. He doesn't tell anyone about this, but not just that. He goes to this abandoned place. Jason tells him to strip down to prove he's not wearing a wire. Hank does this. He gets butt naked because seeing Hank's ass was everything that I've ever wanted, apparently, according to the show. And so he does this. He even swims in a pool because, I don't know, maybe Jason Todd has always wanted to see Hank naked and wet. I don't know. Right after this, Jason, of course, knocks out Hank, proving that Hank is the dumbest member of the Titans ever. Wow. Everything that we've seen this character go through, all of his backstory, and how much I felt bad for this dude, instantly making him the dumbest character right then and there. So, of course, not long after that, he just shows right back up to Wayne Manor with a bomb in his chest. Oops. Talk about dumbass move of the season. So now the group has to figure out how to stop this ticking time bomb and how to stop Jason with the detonator, blah, blah, blah. And then you get to a point where Jason tricks Dawn into pulling the trigger of a gun that she doesn't know is the actual detonator of the bomb. And so therefore, Dawn is the one that accidentally kills Hank. Now, I think this could have worked. It is kind of an interesting idea to have Dawn, like, to really fuck her up. by having her be the cause of her long love's death. You know, like I feel like this could be a huge character moment for her. But what happens? Hank blows up. She knows that she's the reason for it. And then, like, the next scene, she gets on the plane and she leaves. So we don't see the aftermath of it. We don't really see how it affects her. And then she knows that the threat, the villain threat, is still out there, but yet she just leaves? Really? How do we not have a moment where she breaks down? How do we not have a moment where maybe she still tries to fight, or maybe she still tries to get revenge on Jason, but because she's too screwed up, she's too much in her head, maybe then she leaves? Maybe then she says, all right, I'm too emotional, I can't do this. But to leave that quick? What the fuck? What a waste. So much of this is a waste. Speaking of a waste, Starfire is here, and she has random blackouts. She has random blackouts, and she doesn't remember, but apparently during these blackouts, she tries to kill members of her team. And I feel like this is a big deal, right? If one of the members of your team constantly is trying to kill you, like, how would you ever be able to go to sleep around her or feel safe in the same house around her? But no, there's literally scenes where Beast Boy's in the kitchen and she just walks in and starts shooting fireballs at him. And they treat it like it's a joke. It's supposed to be funny. Ha ha. Look at Starfire shooting fire at me and she's trying to kill me. Isn't this hilarious? And then she wakes up and doesn't know what's going on. And she doesn't really get a chance to tell anybody else about it. She tries to tell Dick, but he's too busy. And it's just sort of like, all right, well, I guess this won't really be addressed. His sister Blackfire joins the team and she starts dating Superboy. Oh, remember Superboy? Yeah, he's still here. And Superboy starts dating Blackfire kind of randomly, kind of in the background. You don't really give too much of a fuck about the relationship or anything about it, other than the fact that I guess he loses his virginity to her. Okay. And oh yeah, whenever Superboy tries to do something, because he's the most powerful member of the team, he has the powers of Superman, right? So wouldn't you want him on the field or involved most of, if not all of the times? But there's one scene in particular where Dick Grayson says, no, I want you to stay here. I don't want you to get involved. In fact, even when Superboy tries to go anyways, Dick Grayson hits him with kryptonite and kind of almost kills him. He leaves him incapacitated and like almost about to die. If it wasn't for Blackfire showing up and saving him, he could have died. And he even Superboy has this moment where he's like, I want to kill Dick Grayson because he almost killed me. And I'm sitting there watching this and saying, yeah, Dick, you fucked up. You're supposed to be the leader of this team. You recruited Superboy to be on the Titans to do what? To do nothing? Do you not want him to actually fight or to actually help you out? And what's dumb about this is that Dick Grayson not only goes out there and gets killed after this, but he doesn't even apologize to Superboy. There's not even a moment where he says, look, man, that was fucked up. I shouldn't have did that. I'm sorry. I was wrong. You should have been there. No, it's just like, oh well. Dick Grayson, he went out there and he gets shot and killed by civilians. And the reason why that happens is because Scarecrow, with the voice of Red Hood, gets Gotham to believe that the Titans have poisoned the water supply. So Gotham City, the people, think that the Titans have turned on them and poisoned the water. Why the fuck would anybody believe this? Why would anybody who's lived in Gotham for years and who have known the Titans to be good guys, to be superheroes, to be people that have protected them for years? Why would they believe this Red Hood or Scarecrow or whoever it is? No, it just seems like there's a whole bunch of people out there who want them dead, like the people who shot Dick. So this is all preposterous. This is all very, very stupid. And Beast Boy does nothing. Beast Boy is literally in the background of so many of these scenes. He has a couple of, and when I say a couple, literally 2 or 3 scenes when he turns into a tiger, or there's one scene when he turns into a bat. Actually, that's when Dick Grayson dies. Yeah, he turns into a bat, and that's it. He doesn't have a plot of his own, a side plot, or a character arc. No, he doesn't do anything. If I was this actor, I would be pissed. Same thing with Raven. Remember Raven, who was a big part of the first season? The whole thing revolved around her. Well, yeah, we finally see her like 5 or 6 episodes into the season where she's on Themyscira. She's being trained by the Amazons. By the way, Themyscira looks fucking, man. Maybe I was spoiled by seeing the way Themyscira was shot so well, so colorful, so beautiful in the Wonder Woman movies. Whereas in this show, Themyscira looks like the grossest tint of color of a random beach that I've ever seen. This does not look like Themyscira. And the only thing that Raven really does is at the end of the season, she goes into Scarecrow's cell and gives him some nightmares. That's the only thing that her character amounts to at all. But back to Dick Grayson being killed. He gets put into the Lazarus pit, and that's how he gets brought alive. I would not have killed Dick Grayson off, especially in a lame way of being shot by a fucking normal person, because that was stupid. But having him be brought back in the Lazarus pit, it should have felt like a big deal. Or, I don't know, the whole time I never bought that he was really dead. I never bought that, oh man, they killed the main character of the show. No, it's just you're waiting for how they're going to bring him back, especially because this comes after Donna Troy randomly came back. So death means nothing on this show, whether it's the Lazarus pit or it's anything else. You want to speak about the Lazarus pit, how about the part where a bunch of civilians die and the Titans have to pour the Lazarus water juice all around the city to wake everyone up and bring everybody back to life? What the actual fuck? Is the Lazarus pit not the worst plot device that I've ever seen used ever? I know that it brings people back to life. I know, but there's no consequence to it. There's nothing to where it fucks you up mentally. Remember in Batman the Animated Series when Ra's al Ghul would go into the Lazarus pit and he would be crazy as fuck for a few minutes after he comes out, and they would say that every time he used it, it would make him slightly more unhinged every time. He was losing his humanity every time he used it. A kid's cartoon show made the Lazarus pit more interesting than this goddamn show that's supposed to be for adults, because you could tell with how many times they say the word fuck. I mean, my God, I know you guys are on HBO Max. I know you guys want to be edgy, and I know you guys want to be cool because you said fuck Batman in season 1. Now you're saying fuck the Joker and fuck this and fuck that, and oh, look, we're cool because we say fuck. Stop trying too hard. You guys aren't cool. Barbara Gordon is introduced as the commissioner because I guess her father is dead. We see that she's in a wheelchair. They talk about how the Joker shot her and paralyzed her, which, once again, that's from the comic books. But they don't show us. They just tell us. This might possibly be one of the most tragic and interesting things for Barbara Gordon to have gone through in the comics, and they don't even show it. They show us a flashback of before this happened with her and her going around and doing some stuff with Dick Grayson, but they don't show us her as Batgirl. They don't show us her being paralyzed by the Joker. There's so many big moments that the Joker does in this season, but we don't really get to see any of it. Imagine if we had a whole flashback episode of Barbara Gordon being injured by the Joker, and once again putting Joker in this big light of like, man, how tragic. That would have been so impactful, and we would have felt so emotionally tied to her because we got to see what torture she went through. And maybe that would have made us be on her side a little bit more when she's so against vigilantism, because without seeing all of that, it just makes her look like a bitch every time she's so adversarial against Dick Grayson. Or how about in the first episode where she's introduced, she shows up to Wayne Manor and talks to Bruce Wayne like shit. She says, oh, this is your fault. You're the one who did this to us. You're the one who did this to Jason Todd. You're the reason why he's dead. And it's like, man, you're an asshole, Barbara. Again, if we had seen her side, if we had seen her flashback, if we had gotten that episode, maybe we would have gotten her point of view a little better. Maybe we would have understood why she felt so strong about this. Being told is not enough. Again, show, don't tell. But no, it was more important in the flashback to show her and Dick Grayson making out and having sex. Oh, wow. Yeah, Dick Grayson gets to hook up with another hot chick in the series. How many is it now? He hooked up with Dawn. He hooked up with Donna Troy. He hooks up with Barbara Gordon. Am I missing something? Is there anyone else? I get it. Oh, I think he also hooked up with Starfire too, right? There is one scene, though, that did get me on Barbara Gordon's side. That did make me won over by her. She's in her wheelchair and she gets attacked by this assassin named Lady Vic. And Barbara actually is able to fight her off and defend herself in the wheelchair. Some people might have found that silly. Some people might have found that not believable. But I kind of liked the idea that she's still able to be a badass and still able to defend herself. And she's not helpless. And this assassin, she had a couple of like really cool scenes of looking threatening and just looking like a killing machine. And then she just disappears, or at least maybe I forgot, or maybe I don't remember what happens to her. It just seems like she fails trying to kill Barbara and then goodbye. Maybe she'll be back for another season, or maybe I didn't see what happened to her. So Oracle on this show, Barbara Gordon never became Oracle. Oracle in this show is a computer system that the team used, I guess, to track down criminals. And they have this stupid-ass plot where Jonathan Crane somehow finds out about Oracle, somehow hacked into it, even though it's this big high-tech system that's only run by her in her voice. So I don't know how he was able to hack into it. But okay, fine. He hacks into it. He's able to watch their every move, so that's supposed to make him a step ahead. But then, when they figure out that Crane has hacked the system, he knew that they were going to figure that out. And so Jonathan Crane wants them to destroy the Oracle computer. And Barbara does. I'm pretty sure if he was able to hack into it, he could have destroyed it himself. That just seemed unnecessary. It seemed like a big circle that we're running around with our heads cut off, trying to make sense of this plot every step of the way. The end of the season is just Jason Todd finally turns on Jonathan Crane, and they catch Crane, they stop him, and Jason is just forgiven. I mean, I know that a few of the team members still don't like what he did, and they're still angry at him, and they'll probably never trust him ever again. But it seems like he just apologizes, and yeah, maybe Bruce Wayne's disappointed by him. Yeah, maybe Dick Grayson will never look at him the same. Sure, the relationships are damaged, but he's not arrested. He's not really punished for what he did. So, what did this accomplish? Why did any of this happen? What was the point of any of this? Thank you, Titans Season 3, for making me dislike Batman. Thank you for making Red Hood the least interesting that I've ever seen him. Thank you for giving me a lame-ass version of Jonathan Crane. This sucked. This sucked hard. Anyways, guys, Let me know in the comments below, what did you think of Titans Season 3? Maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you loved this season. I would love to hear why. Are you looking forward to Season 4? Should I even bother? Hit that notification bell for more reviews and more videos. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.